today we are going to be talking about the best and worst colors for Feng Shui. Now, let's just say all color is good. I am like a little rainbow kid. I love color. Like honestly, if you see me typically on a typical day, I'm not dressed in a fancy dress. I have a big pink puffy jacket, an orange hat, a rainbow colored scarf, and I just love color. Now, the thing is that color is a huge part of Feng Shui. It really plays a huge part because every one of the elements represents a color. They're represented by colors. So a color in your home can really affect your Feng Shui. And I've actually done a video and dived into something similar in the 5 elements video. So I definitely recommend checking that out. But what I want to cover with this is in Feng Shui, there's actually 2 aspects that we would work with when we're working with someone with color. The first one would be in their actual house. So you can check out the video and I'm going to dive a little bit more into that in a second, in their house. And the second one is in the personal colors. So in Feng Shui, we have something that we would create a personal report for someone's home. We also create it for the person themselves. And this is really an amazing topic because there's so many colors that are, you know, all the colors of the rainbow and all the colors that we have available to us that are so amazing. They can impact our mood and our humor and what's happening for us in our lives. You know, are you feeling a bit blue? You know, water can really be emotive. It can feel heavy. It can be damp. It's cooling. But then, you know, water in terms of imagery of water in some houses, you know, if you have like big stormy images, it can mean stormy weather, like stormy energy in your home. So I kind of digress a little bit off the colors, but the 5 colors or the 5 elements that we look at with the colors are fire, water, metal, earth, and wood. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell and you will get notified when my video is released. I have so much information that I just cannot wait to share with you about Feng Shui and to help really skyrocket your life and your home to next levels that you couldn't even imagine. So the first color that I talked about is fire. And of course, fire is the color red, but it actually goes the whole spectrum. So fire would be orange, pink, purple, magenta, burgundy. That would be the full spectrum of the color, the element of fire element. So using that color would be one that you would bring that energy into your home. And if you don't use or like fire or red, not we don't like fire, but yeah, if you don't use fire or red in your home, that's okay. Sometimes it is necessary. Like in our house, we actually do have one part of our home that this year we need some fire element in. And we have, I've got all my books that have red covers and I've got a little sign that has red on it. And that's how we would kind of bring in that fire element into our home. But it's very specific to each person where we would recommend it in their homes. So the fire is first, then we go over to the next one on the chart, which would be the water element. And water element is blue, and it can go all the way to kind of more aquamarine turquoise to the other side where it would actually be black. And you're like, how is water element black? Well, if you've ever been out on the ocean and you go further out, you're kind of like blue, 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 and then you look down and you're like black. And it is literally black. So it can get really dark, and that's still the element of water. So those colors, all those elements would be very associated with the color blue and the water element. The next color is the color of earth, and that is literally stones. So you could go out and like pick up a stone and that will be the color of it. So it would be creams, earthy tones, like light shades of brown. Anything that you would associate with earth colors would be the color of earth. The next color is wood element, and of course all you have to do is think about trees and wood and think about leaves. So green is the color that will be associated with the wood element, and it's the whole spectrum of green. As I sit here looking out at the valley in front of us, and it's literally like there's, I know Ireland, what they say, like there's so many shades of green, like every field is a different color. and they would all be associated with the wood element. So the following one is metal. So metal is the element of metal. So anything that's metal, and that would be like metallic, shiny objects, and essentially the element of metal is the iron or the metal that comes from beneath the earth. So, you know, that's how we get metal. It comes from the earth. So the colors would be all the pastels, and white actually would also be associated with metal element. Silvers, gold, shiny, gray would all be the elements of metal. So when we look at that chart of all the colors, we're like, well, how does this work with Feng Shui? Well, every part of your home represents a different part of your life, and every area can either be in balance, happy balance of these elements energetically, which is invisible, or they can be in an unhappy balance. So that's beyond of what I cover here. But my main concern when it comes to colors in people's homes is the excess of the colors. It is not about, and this is something that I've definitely seen with some people when they start kind of diving into Feng Shui, they think, oh, so I have to have fire, water, metal, earth, and wood in every area. And I'm like, no, don't do that. Because they won't know what to do, because all of these elements work with each other differently. So fire would burn wood, wood would create earth, and metal comes from the earth, and then fire would also melt. Fire would melt metal. So, you know, you've got all of these interactions between them, and they're known as the creative cycles, the creative, destructive, and the productive cycles. So some are creating, some of them are destroying, and some of them are producing. And that idea of those cycles is very much part of the Chinese medicine, acupuncture philosophy, and, you know, the 5 elements philosophy of how they interact. So in Feng Shui, we look at it from the house in, say, for example, Qigong and not Ayurveda or Shiatsu, or any of the Chinese medicine, Chinese doctors would look at it as where the elements are maybe in excess in your body, and even each of the organs are connected to an element, which are also connected to the colors of them. And that's definitely beyond my world. There's an amazing lady, Joanne Faulkner, who I've done her Qigong classes over the years. And we've done amazing meditations where we meditate with each of the organs. And if your spleen is out of balance, you would breathe in earth element, or the kidneys are to do with water element, so you bring in blue. So that's a little bit of a side note, and something you can definitely check out, because this philosophy really permeates so much more than just Feng Shui. This 5 element and the colors really affects everything, even in our bodies. So what I wanted to just cover was really the excess of these colors. So for example, one place you would avoid an excess of specifically blue would be in the bathroom. Now, the bathroom is associated with water element because there's a lot of taps. You've got faucets, you've got sinks, you might have a bidet. You know, there's a lot of outlets, there's a lot of draining, a lot of energy leaving out of the bathroom. So what you want to do is you want to add any more water in that area. It can really impact your finances, because water is also connected to the flow of abundance. So you definitely want to close your bathroom door, keep your toilet seat down, and maybe even bring earth element into the bathroom. So how would you bring earth element into the bathroom? You could get a few pebbles, like literally some earth stones or crystals or shells into the bathroom. And they would be just energetically there to slow the flow of water and energy out of the bathroom. So how would you think about that? Like if a river is flowing, if you wanted to stop a river, you would use earth to dampen it and to slow it and to stop it. And that's why you would put stones into and bring some stones or crystals into the bathroom. So that's one way of where blue would be in excess, would not be ideal. The other place that a color would in excess is not ideal is the kitchen. So we don't recommend red in excess in the kitchen. So why would we not like excess red in the kitchen? So the kitchen already has a lot of hot things. So it already has the stove, it has the cooker, it has maybe the oven, it has a lot of fire already happening. You know, even if it's not a gas burner, it's just that energy of fire. The toaster, the kettle, there's a lot of heat. So we don't want to bring more heat to an area that's already got a lot of fire Having excess fire in that area could lead to arguments, accidents, overeating, and you definitely want to minimize it. Now, when I first moved into this house, this kitchen was actually like high gloss red, believe it or not. And it took us several years to change it. Like it was a substantial investment to change it. And you know what, it's a journey. So for example, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh, my bathroom is all blue or my kitchen is all red, I'm like, you're not doomed with Feng Shui. Like just take that information. Oh, that's okay, good to know. What can I do to cool it? So if you did have a bright red kitchen, maybe bring a picture of water in and see how it goes. Just judge it, because this is definitely it's a very generic suggestion, and it may not be ideal. So just test it for a week, and you'll feel a shift if it's making a difference to kind of calm things down. And if you're really fascinated with the 5 elements, I talk about it more in the colors of Feng Shui. I cover it in the 5 elements video a lot deeper, and I give some really kind of amazing client stories about excess of these colors in their houses and the impacts of them. Thank you so much for tuning into my YouTube channel. I'm so grateful to have you here. And if you enjoyed this training and this guidance, you would really, really enjoy my free Feng Shui checklist. Now, this is a checklist that guides you through every single room of your home and gives you step-by-step things that you can do in every room to improve the energy and amplify it and turn your house into a powerhouse. So you can get that at patricialohan.com/checklist, and I can't wait for you to download it and start taking action. I can't wait to hear your aha moments, and of course, if you have any stories or questions, pop them in the comments below.